All right. You ready to take over there? All right.
I think so.
So without further ado, Dennis usually does this. This is Charlie, AJ9N, and he's going to talk about simple technology approach, slow scan television from ISS. Take it away.
Okay. As Walt said, we're talking about slow scan TV that every once in a while the ISS sends down slow scan TV. Our Russian friends, our Russian ARISS friends, they every once in a while decide, well, we're going to have 10 files and we're going to send them down. And we're going to talk a little bit about how simple it is to actually do this. And I know a few of you, I got 3 different people that sent me what they downloaded. And we'll take a head count afterwards when the lights back up so we can see how many actually did it too. Okay, this is not new. Am I okay on the microphone?
Yeah.
Okay. And this has actually gone back way before 2019, but the latest stuff where they're getting much more active in how there's even a diploma you can get for sending in a file. Roughly about 2019, so twice that year, 4 times in 2020, 4 times in 21, 3 in 22, and so far this year twice. I don't think we'll be doing it any more this year, but you never know. Just be on the lookout for announcements, and if I see something, I'll obviously send it to the club here. These are some of the pictures that I have collected, and this is from December of 2020. And like I mentioned, there's a group over in Europe that, well, you send them a file, there's a web page, I'll show that in a minute too. You send in at least one file and they'll send you the PDF where you can get an award. And if you can hardly see it, but my name is there and call sign. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. The nice thing about this is that you don't have to be a ham to do this. You go to a Boy Scouts or a school group and you have a scanner even, and you know, you can listen in and record a file. There you go. So that's, and each one of these files, the pictures, there may be a dozen of them, 10 of them, they're all related to ARISS and history of manned space flight, SARX a little bit, NURIX a little bit. There's another one I did from 2021. And one from earlier this year for the ARISS, the Teachers Institute, and ARISS was there. Now you notice all the green stuff, that's, you know, that's sound that's just not recorded. And you'll see little sound line, you know, noise passes through here. We're doing stuff really, really simple, so you're going to see a lot of that kind of thing. I had sent out an announcement earlier about this. From October 27th to November 1, there was going to be actually 2 time periods within there. There was going to be a EVA in the middle. Turns out the EVA got canceled, so the second portion got moved up into what had been the EVA slot, and then instead of going to the actual the end of the November the 1st, they cut it off. Well, it's going to go actually November 2nd, I guess, and they cut it off about a half a day early, 3/4 of a day early. So be on the lookout for these kind of announcements. And the webpage is spaceflightsoftware.com/ARISS_SSTV. That's the webpage. I'll show you that in a little bit of what you can send your file that you downloaded in and see how well you did with everybody else. And then trust me, they go anywhere from being 100% perfect to maybe you see 10% of the picture. No biggie deal. This is the 2 that I got from the latest one. You can see that there's some sound bars through there, noise, and I didn't do so well in the second one. It just depends on when the pass starts and before it goes out of range. So I mean, you know, it is orbiting, and so well, okay. It got, I think probably in this one it started to go out of range, and well, I got what I got. So Dee got into the act. She sent me 3 files. Not too bad. First time she'd ever done this. She didn't even know about it. So I sent out to everybody, and she went and downloaded an app, took her radio out, and that's what she got. Dan, he gave it a shot. Not too bad. First shot at ever doing this. Mark, he got it. He never done it before. Not too bad. First time, obviously. This is the web page I'm telling you about how people, you can just upload a file, give your name, call sign, you upload the file, tell them where you're at, and it's basically like North America, South America, that kind of thing. And then you can actually go there and do a search on, any call sign you want, or look for your own. And obviously these guys all did, they had really, they did a little bit more sophisticated than what I did. But you get, in any way, doing this, you can get a little certificate of the email to you, PDF file. So how do they all do that? Okay, what do you need? You need a radio, 2-meter FM that is capable of 145.8 receive, antenna, maybe a tad better than a rubber ducky. You might consider that. Some sort of slow scan TV app. Robot 36 freebie works fine on an Android cell phone. And some sort of satellite tracking app, so if you really want to know where this ISS is at, or for that matter, any other ham set, you might want to get a tracking app. I have about 5 of them, and they're all for free. I have an Android phone. All right, this is the stupidest, simplest approach. This is a radio. This is a cell phone. You notice that separation and distance between the two is maybe 6 inches max. I crank the volume up on the radio. I turn the Robot 36 software on. You'll see an image of that in a bit. And whatever I can record, I record. Now that's the stupidest, simplest, that's the KISS. Okay, this is what I'm calling KISS Plus. What's the difference? I went to a better antenna. Okay, I'm calling this one KISS Plus Plus. This is my Arrow beam antenna. Some of you got arrows. You don't see the 70 centimeter on there. And I have an old camera tripod that is a piece of PVC pipe kind of strapped to the mount. And I just kind of slide the antenna in there and I rotate it around and to get the best polarity, best signal strength, and of course you rotate. And once again, this is on my pool deck, and then that's a radio, that's my cell phone. You can see this is really sophisticated stuff. Oh, you want to go all the way? We do, thanks to Bob, he's got a picture you saw from when I did the ARISS contact presentation at Stolen Magnet. This, you only really need, a radio and the rotor controllers in there, and the radio could be going to, cabled over to your computer so you can get the software to work the right way. And you want to do it the right way, the full-blown, sophisticated way. We have beam antennas, as with elevation, rotor controlled by computer. And that's where all the guys had the really good pictures. They're all running something like that, I'm guessing. Okay, for the slow scan TV software, Robot 36 is what I'm using on my Android. On an iPhone, there's something called SSTV. I don't know anything about it because I don't have an iPhone. And if you're using Windows, there's a software package called MMSSTV, which is now called YONIQ. If you go to the ARRL webpage, you can download, but this file, and when I tried it, my Norton antivirus lit up big time. But then I found another site that actually has it that Norton says, you're good to go. So If you want to try to load that and you have trouble, let me know. Easily do a search.
What do you do, taking the radio audio output and putting it into the mic input?
You could, or you got a lot of you have the, you know, the box you're going to use for packet, or, you know, take the audio off the packet jack in the back and plug it into your computer. A lot of, you know, sound cards are built into half the time nowadays into the sound, you know, it's for your packet or soul scan or whatever it is you want to hook your computer and your radio to. So you can do that. But yeah, otherwise you just build a simple interface between the computer and the radio, which is basically a speaker. You know, whether you can get by with just a audio cable or not, you might have some ground loops or something. You have to do some isolation maybe. But yeah, something really simple, Chuck. Is this, you know. Okay. Satellite tracking software for Android. There's Android free, AMSAT Droid free, Heavens Above, ISS Detector, ISS Live Now, TrackSat, Look for Sat. My go-to is AMSAT Droid free, and the keyword there is free. If you have an iPhone or iPad, I do have an iPad. PXSat, ISS Detector, ISS Live Now, and Satellite Tracker. I have PXSat on there, and it seems to work okay. So, if you're running Windows, I use Nova and SAT PC32, and there's a gazillion other ones you can go and find. I just listed the ones that I have. And if you have a Mac, there's about the only one I know of is Mac Doppler. The Windows and the Mac ones cost money. I think some of the iPhone ones cost, I don't know, $5 or something. And the Android ones, none of those cost me anything for the Android stuff. With any of the apps for satellite tracking, the main thing is you're going to have to update the Keplerian data, that's the orbital tracking data. And if you have a choice, I would make sure you go and use the one that says amateur that's on Celesttrack. Celesttrack is a guy out of the Air Force Academy. His system is tied directly into NORAD. I used to have a license to get the NORAD data directly, but you have to go through a little monkey business, but heck with that, I just get from Celesttrack. Those files get updated sometimes 3 times a day, depends on the satellite. AMSAT has Keplerian data. Some of it could be almost a week old, and there is one called NASA Bear that they claim is updated multiple times a day, but I don't trust the AMSAT one, even though I'm an AMSAT member. I go and use Celesttrack. Make sure your clock is correct. You don't want to be, if you're a minute off, you're thinking you're pointing here and it's over there. I mean, it is moving 17,500 miles an hour, so it's falling. For any of the SSTV apps, they all have the mode, they all seem to have a mode that says, okay, I'll automatically detect it, figure it out for you. Go ahead and put it into the mode that you've been told. And this last one was PD120. Go and find PD120, set it for that, and you won't have to, the program won't debate what the heck am I listening for and have to figure it out. And then some of the orbital tracking software, it'll give you the time in UTC, or it gives it to you in local time, or you may have a choice, or it may gives it both ways. So make sure you're looking at the right thing, especially if you're used to UTC for everything, for ham radio, and then all of a sudden your software says local time, you're going to be, depending on the time that you're here, 4 or 5 hours off, which could be driving bonkers. Like, why don't I hear anything? Well, okay. And as we mentioned before, hardwiring between the radio and the computer or cell phone will give you the best chance of getting good audio. If you can do Doppler correction, go ahead. Most handheld radios or mobile radios, you can only go in 5 kilohertz steps. That's why for an ARISS contact, those radios are not good enough because we want at least 1 kilohertz step increments for Doppler correction. But so on an HT, you could probably just leave it at 145.8 and walk away from it. Or you could set it for 145.805, 145.8, and 145.795 and click between them and see which one gives you the best signal. And the higher the max elevation on that orbit, it'll give you better contact times, longer, and a better chance at a really good signal. If it's just humming along the horizon, it's debatable, but if it's up 60, 70, 80 degree max elevation, that should be a really good signal. These are some screenshots from the Robot 36 web page. You can go to the Google store and the Apple store or whatever they call it, and just do a search Robot 36 or any of the other packages and find it. Anyway, I also went onto the web page just to see what they've got. And I got a picture of mine. I'm going to home in on that here. Now, in the software, and at least in Robot 36, and I suspect they're all somewhat the same way, up in here, you'll see this, right now it says Robot 36. If you come over here where these 3 little dots are, it's hard to read on here, that takes you into, you take and select the mode. So there's a whole bunch of modes, and you can find it, and then when you pick the right one, excuse me, it'll show up what you're doing here. And then when the pass starts, you'll start seeing the lines painted, and when it ends, you'll start seeing the noise again, and at that point, this is a save button, and I think this is a share button, but I usually just use this. And then if you, or you can hit the pause button, and then just, if you want to save it, you can. If you hit the pause button, what it does is it wipes it out, starts over again. Okay, same thing with the save. So you don't have to record a bazillion lines of noise, which doesn't gain you anything. And down here it's showing you some, how everybody likes to see how well the sound and the video signal and all that kind of stuff is, and field strength and stuff. So that is a picture of mine. Now, if we could turn the lights back up. Somebody, we had to ask, are we going to have a demo? Yes, we're going to have a demo. Now, in lieu of this, I recorded the audio on iPad, and if this works. You'll see in a minute what I'm going to do here.
We should have a cord to plug that into the audio system.
On the iPads, I don't even know if there is an actual.
Check. We're working or no?
Check.
Got it. Now this is in between received signal. All right, cell phone. Robot 36. This is what it's doing right now. It's recording whatever it's hearing. I'm going to go and tell it. Over here is a whole bunch of stuff. It says select mode. I'm going to go to the PD modes. I'm going to tell it 120.
We'll hold it in front of the video recording.
Okay, I can do that. I'll go back here to select mode. Can you see that? Okay. I don't know if you can see. Okay. And then PD 120. So I'm going to stop it here again, and you'll see it kind of. Okay, now I'll start it up again. See how is that working out? Okay. All right. Now. about a 2-minute gap, 2.5-minute gap between. This is probably not the better of the two passes. The C2. The radio is in space. What doesn't work in space? Heating and cooling doesn't work very good in space. So what happens when you're on Earth? Heat goes up, cooling goes down. In space, there's no up or down. So the radio has problems cooling itself. So they'll transfer maybe a minute, and then they let it cool down for about 2.5 minutes. And then they'll fire off another signal.
What kind of power are they transmitting?
What's that?
What kind of power are they transmitting?
Well, the two radios up there are both 25 watts. Very heavily modified radios that Ken would put together. They run on all sorts of weird voltages up there. So the ARISS guys build a special box. They can go 125 DC in, 12 out DC, 28 out DC, 5 volts DC out for USB.
Is this only for one pass that gets really down?
Well, for us, this pass, I didn't get very good. The signal wasn't very good on it. We got another one here coming up in about another minute, maybe. Let's see if I can. Stop that. Start it.
We can.
You're right straight there. This is what we got.